Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel, and this week is gonna be a bookish-ish week. I'm gonna take you along with me on my week. I have a couple things I want to do tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to the gym early in the morning. I've started incorporating the gym into my workouts because I've been running for about a year now, and I have started with having lower back pain. And as my sister loves to remind me, it's because I'm not weight training and strengthening my body for running. So I've started to incorporate gym into my workouts. I used to hate the gym. I used to feel so self-conscious, and that's pretty much why I started running, because I could go anywhere and no one really looks at you for too long when you're running, because you're there and then you're gone. But in the gym, you're in enclosed space, and I'm always self-conscious. But I'm gonna go to the gym early in the morning. I have 2 books that I want to read. I also want to go to Waterstones and pick up a few books that I have that's been released that I've been waiting on, and one that I'm not too sure if I want to pick up. I am very torn whether this is a book that I'm gonna like, so we'll see how that goes. And then a coffee, of course, and maybe some breakfast. And I have 2 books that I'm gonna read during this week, or try to read during this week, but one of them is Never Thorn by Shannon Mayer. This has been on my TBR for not too long, like a couple months, but it's one that I've always thought about adding to TBRs and getting to, and I officially added it to my October TBR, and I'm making myself read it this week because I really feel like this may be something I really like, and it's dark academia. We're gonna start with Never Thorn and Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid, which is also on my October TBR. This has been on my TBR for way too long, and I love Ava Reid's writing, and if there's any time to read an Ava Reid book, it is in October. So this is getting read this week, and then if I do have time, I might read Immortal Consequences, or the other book that I recently picked up, which is called Exquisite Ruin by an author that I've read before, and the book sounds really good, and it's been something that I keep thinking about ever since I picked it up. So we'll start with these and then see where we go from there. But that is my next, well, that's my next day of plans. I have no idea where the week is going to take me. She says this when she has plans to go to Waterstones tomorrow, but I do technically have a book buying ban in place. I'm still going to Waterstones tomorrow, but they are 2 books that I kind of potentially need. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I do technically have a book buying ban in place because last month I went crazy with the book buying, and I'm trying to behave more financially responsible this month. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see if that actually works, but that's my plan, and I'm taking you along with me, and I hope you enjoy this video, so enjoy. I need to reorganize these 2 shelves, which is just basically my paperbacks, because I sold some books and I've got empty space, so now I kind of want to reorganize the paperbacks, and I like to keep all my paperbacks together, so let's do that. instead of my very comfy sofa. I don't know. But I have gone to Waterstones, as I showed you. I am so not comfortable filming in public, so I'm sorry, the clips aren't great. But there are so many exciting new releases at the moment. And while I did say I had 2 books that I needed to pick up and one I was iffy about, I picked up 3. And was it the 2 that I actually needed? No. But it is what it is. So the one I was iffy about picking up was Nightshade by Autumn Woods. I wasn't totally sure if this was something I actually wanted to pick up because I haven't been leaning too much towards YA books at the moment. I've been very into new adult, and that's just what I go for now. But I have heard good things about this book, and it is Dark Academia. While I am in the middle of reading a Dark Academia book, I'm not feeling too like wow about it. Like it is enjoyable, but it isn't too wow. So we'll see if this one works for me, if this one's good. Sometimes I do pick up YA and they tend to surprise me. Will this be one of them? I don't know. I'm pretty intrigued to find out. This is something, I do love Dark Academia books, so I'm intrigued by this and we'll see how it goes. I don't know when I'll pick this up because the TBR is overwhelming, but it will be picked up. Now, the one book that I definitely did need is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. This is Ravenhead Reader's book pick of the month. I wasn't sure before it was a book pick whether I was going to pick this up. It wasn't, usually I pre-order my books that are new releases. I wasn't going to pre-order this because I did read Once Upon a Broken Heart by this author and I hated it. And I know hate is a strong word, but I really didn't like it. And it just kind of put me off of reading Stephanie Garber books. I just didn't think that they were for me. But this is her new adult debut, I believe, and I do love new adult books, and I do like to give authors more than one chance of whether I'm going to like their books, because it could have been the story that I didn't like rather than the writing. So I did pick up Alchemy of Secrets. I mean, it being the book pick of the month did kind of push me to picking it up. So we'll see. It is quite a short book, and I mean, it's got alchemy magic, which I have been really loving lately, and the fact that loads of authors are coming out with alchemy books at the moment is very surprising, and I don't really know what's happening there. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know, it just seems like I've read a lot of books with alchemy more than I ever have before in the space of like a couple months. So I'm intrigued. It's quick. I haven't heard too much about it, so we'll see how it goes. I am planning on picking this up fairly soon, probably in the next couple of days after I finish my current read and the other read after that. And we'll see if I like it or not. And the last book I picked up, which was just a spur of the moment pick, is A Kiss of Hammer and Flame by Amy de la Force. This is a Fated for Hell book 1 series. I don't know why I picked this up. It just kind of seems like something I would enjoy. It says, a prophecy ignited, an immortal awakened from the slums, from the ashes, a queen will rise. That sounds right up my alley. And it is a new release, and it's a new to me author, which I do like discovering new authors. So we'll see if this is up my alley. And yeah, I'm sure this will be in a reading vlog or another at some point. Is it going to be read anytime soon? Probably not. Again, like I've said, TBR, overwhelming. Why do I keep adding to the TBR? I don't know. Don't ask me. But it does sound really good, and I haven't heard anyone, like, at all talking about this book. So we'll see. We'll see if this is good and whether I recommend it. But yeah, that's it for the Waterstones book haul. So, on to reading. Meant to give an update like 10% into reading this, but I kind of got sucked. I kind of got sucked in, and to be quite honest, I couldn't pull myself away. It was actually really hard to pull myself away. I'm really enjoying Neverthorn by Shannon Mayer, and I'm still so sure I've read something by her before. But I will say that though this character, this FMC, is told to be 29. She doesn't read like she's 29. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the setting. Like, I just expect her to be younger. But I have to constantly remind myself that she is 29. She's not like 21 or 22. She's 29. And yeah, I keep having to revert myself to that mindset of her being older than most people in this school. Other than that, I'm really enjoying myself. I feel like this is such a book that's easy to fall into, to follow, to like just escape into, and it's definitely a very good like palette cleanser book, I would say, especially after reading such a dark fantasy not that long ago, like yesterday. No, not yesterday, day before yesterday. But I'm really enjoying myself. I am 288 pages in, which means I'm like 60% of the way through this. I do think that this is a book I could finish tonight if I didn't have plans. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Not a 5-star. I'd say like 3.5. I don't think it's 4-star either. I definitely think this is just an easy book to fall into. There's nothing too complex. There's nothing really new I'm seeing here. But I am still interested and I'm still falling into it. And I think this was perfect to pick up after reading Alchemized and just having something to kind of fall into and not think too deeply about. So enjoying myself. 60% in, and we'll see where we go. There's potential this could get better, but yeah, this isn't like blowing me away or anything. So that's where I'm up so far. I have decided to change my second book. So instead of Juniper and Thorn, I think I'm going to read either The Raven Scholar or Exquisite Ruin, which I've been eyeing up so much, or even Immortal Consequences, The Life of a Mood Reader. I don't know. It could be any of those three. So as soon as I'm done with this, I will figure out what I want to pick up next, and we'll see from there. But yeah, I'm having fun. Yeah. Neverthorn by Shannon Mayer, and I have very mixed feelings about this book, and I'm not entirely sure what to put my finger on it or how to put my finger on it. I finished this today. I could have finished this in one sitting, but I had plans and it just didn't end up working out. But I have finished it in 2 days, which is not bad considering I read the bulk of this in one day. I think I only had like 100 pages to read left, and yeah, feeling very mixed. I think I'm settling on a rating of 3.5 stars. And the reason why I'm having trouble with this is the FMC is supposedly 29, but she reads so much younger, and it's so hard to remember that she is 29. She's in her late 20s. She's well into adulthood. Well into adulthood. And I don't know if it's the school. No, it's not the school setting. It's like the author sometimes also forgot that she's a 29-year-old, because sometimes she has very mature moments and sometimes she has very immature moments, and I don't know how to reconcile those 2 points. And it's like, yes, 29 is not old. I need to remember that because I am 26, turning 27 in like a month. But I'm also like, I don't believe... Maybe it's me putting myself in that situation and thinking how I would behave in certain situations. But for me, there is just this constant forgetfulness on her age, on my part. And I feel also like the author's part. I feel like there are definitely... I feel like if she was 22, this would have been perfect. This would have been fine. And I know that's not too many years differentiate, but it is. It is. And... It just bothered me, and I'm like, I had to keep reminding myself, and I shouldn't have to remind myself. It should not even be a thing in my mind, but that is my opinion. That is my reason, and that is why I went from a 4-star to a 3.5. I did have fun in this. I feel like this was perfect to pick up after reading a dark fantasy and just needing something a bit more easier to fall into, not too world building heavy, easy to follow along with, didn't need too much brain power, and that's not a negative thing, but this is very easy to follow onto, and I didn't need to really concentrate super hard on what the author was telling me. It was easy to grasp. I didn't need to remember anything too vital like Alchemized, where you really needed to pay attention to what the author was telling you, because it is going to come back around. This was just something that's easy to fall into, very easy to follow along with, fun to read. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the relationship, I enjoyed the found family aspects. The relationship, like the romance in this, not too sure where I stand with it. Like I enjoyed it. I love it's a very big slow burn, I think, and I don't know where we stand with that. I don't know if that's going to be a bit, like, very confusing where we stand with the romance, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the super slow burn. I enjoyed the tension. It's not totally forefront. I think there are definite moments that were missed to make this more poignant? I think that's the word. I'm using that word. But I do think the romance could have been done a little bit better. It didn't have to be super, like, it didn't need to progress any further than it did. Like, I definitely think we could have done the slow burn, the yearning, the tension, but I do think there was definitely a miss with the information that we were being told that could have really been more eye-opening towards this romance, because I felt like the character had definite reasons for not liking this MMC, but it just felt like she kept forgetting that, and it was very annoying that she kept falling into it, and she kept having to remind herself, and it was very repetitive in certain parts, but it was like, you know why you shouldn't like him, and I feel like that kind of just went out the window halfway through, and I'm like, could you remember again, please? Because I don't think he's done anything super super wow to kind of make you forget about everything that he has done, and especially since you're in the dark about so much that's going on, I definitely think that was a bit of a miss in certain parts as well. But I did enjoy myself. I did have fun. Not a 5-star, not a 4-star. I think it's a solid 3.5-star book, and I don't think it would go any higher. There could be room for improvement in book 2. I think book 2 might be even better, but for book 1, it's a solid book 1. It's a solid book in the series. It's not something I'm going to remember, I think. I think this is something that I'm going to have to, like, reread when book 2 comes out. Not even reread, but I don't think this is something that's going to stick in my memory or stick in my brain or make me want to pick up again super quickly. This was just a good... That's all I have. It was a good book. It was perfect to pick up after Alchemized. I enjoyed it. I finished. I didn't DNF it. But it wasn't doing anything super special. It wasn't anything super, like, wow. It was just a good book. And that's where I stand on that. Now, I have gone back and forth on what I'm going to pick up, because I have a busy reading week next week. You don't know the dates, but from the 20th of October, I have a super busy reading week. And although I have a ton of books on my TBR that I could have picked up, this just keeps shouting at me, and I really want to pick it up. I feel like this is what I'm in the mood for. I am a mood reader at heart, so I kind of had to take the L on this and just put off my TBR for that little bit longer. But I do think this is something if it's good, as good as I think it's going to be, because I have read from this author before in her young adult, and it was so good. I think I'm really going to enjoy this. So I am picking it up. It's the first book in her new adult series, and she's in a maze, and she has to work with someone. I don't really want to read the back of this, but I'm really excited. I think book 2 might either be coming out soon or it is out, I don't know, but yeah, I'm really excited about this and I want to pick it up, so I'm picking it up. So I'm going to start Exquisite Ruin by Adrian May, and I will give an update when I'm some part through this, and I'm really excited about this. Can we just agree that UK paperbacks should be this size? Like, almost as big as a hardback, because this as a paperback is perfect size. It fits in your hand, it's not too small, and I don't know, I just really love paperbacks this size. I think ended up picking up Exquisite Ruin yesterday, and I did indeed finish this in one sitting, and it wasn't because it was so good I couldn't put it down. It was because I knew that if I put this down, I'm not picking it up again, and the likelihood of me ending up DNFing it was going to be quite high, and I just wanted to get out of the way, finish it, be done with it. I didn't have as much fun with this as I thought I would. The Undying Seasons by this author, under her other pen name, was so amazing. I finished it in one sitting. It was 5 stars. It was absolutely phenomenal, and it was a young adult. This is her, I believe, debut into new adult. I think, yeah, it is her debut new adult book, and the premise of this was really interesting. The plot is really good. I just didn't like the characters. I couldn't follow along with their thoughts. I couldn't really connect with them. I didn't really understand their thought process for so many things that were happening in this book. And I also want to say, the amount of times that I said, huh, while reading this is actually ridiculous. Like, I was just so aware that I was confused by the logic of these characters. It did not make sense to me, and I just couldn't follow along. It wasn't that I was too tired or that I'm like in a like, it just was that I could not follow along with these characters. This is written in third person POV, and I've never had a problem with third person POV, but it just felt like there was such a disconnect between the reader reading this, the characters, I don't even know, like the third POV to what the character was doing. Like, it didn't seem like the third person understood what the character was doing, or like, I just felt like there was some things that were missed that would have bridged the understanding and what things were what was happening, because I genuinely was just like, huh, for so much of it. I don't know. Well, I do know. I didn't get along with this book, and the ending, I was just like so utterly confused. Mind you, it was midnight when I got to the ending of this book, but I don't know if I'm thick as hell or if it wasn't explained properly, but I just could not wrap my head around the premise of I did not get it, and I just thought it was unnecessary. It didn't make any sense. It didn't do anything to the plot. It wasn't anything it wasn't anything exciting. It wasn't anything life-changing. It wasn't a huge oh my god moment. It was just like, what? Didn't make sense to me at all. I am so disappointed, because I really love Court of the Undying Seasons, which I have right here. This was so good. I don't know who wrote this, but it wasn't who wrote this. It just, no, these cannot be by the same author. I'm sorry. Doesn't make sense to me. There is a sequel coming out of this book. Will I read it? No, I will not, because to be honest, there's no mad plot twist that would entice anyone to read the second book, because it just feels like this could have been a standalone well enough by itself. I don't know if the sequel was supposed to follow a different character, or if it's the same characters and something else comes up, but the plot of this is finished. It's over. It's done. So yeah, that's how that went. This was so disappointing. I really thought this was going to be magnificent. I was going to love it. I was going to fall in. No, that didn't happen. But that wraps up Spend a Bookish Week with me. I didn't end up doing as much as I thought. I thought I was going to have a really mad bookish week. I was really planning on going to a romantasy pop-up, but didn't end up going to that. So anyway, I still hope you enjoyed this video. I will probably come up with when I do this next, I will do much better, I promise. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.